Have you ever felt like giving up? Like the world is against you and there's no way out? These sentiments are not uncommon. They're a part of the human experience, shared by many in the face of adversity. But here's the thing about adversity. It's not about how many times you're knocked down. It's about how many times you get back up. This is the of perseverance, a quality that can transform impossible dreams into reality. Perseverance is about resilience and determination. It's about refusing to surrender to the challenges that life throws at us. It's about dusting off after a fall and saying, I can do this, I will try again. And if you're in need of a little inspiration to stoke the fires of your determination, then you're in for a treat. Because we're about to embark on a journey into the lives of 5 extraordinary individuals, 5 people who faced immense challenges, who stared adversity in the face and said, I will not be defeated. Each of these individuals had every to give up, to accept their circumstances as insurmountable. But they didn't. They chose to persevere, to keep pushing forward despite the odds stacked against them. And in doing so, they not only transformed own lives but also touched the hearts and minds of millions around the world. From the brilliant mind of a theoretical physicist trapped in a failing body, to a young girl defying the Taliban for the right to education. From an athlete who refused to accept that she would never walk again, to a man born without limbs who chose to live a life without limits. And finally, a woman who overcame the darkness and silence of her world to become a beacon of light for others. These are not just stories of survival, they're stories of triumph, of the indomitable human spirit that refuses to be broken. Stories that prove that with perseverance, even the impossible becomes possible. So buckle up and get ready to be inspired by some of the most resilient individuals in history. If you're enjoying this video, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Our first story takes us back to the late 19th century to a woman named Helen Keller. Helen Keller was not born blind and deaf. In fact, she was a healthy child until an unknown illness struck her when she was just 19 months old. This illness left her in a world of silence and darkness, unable to communicate with the world around her. Imagine for a moment the frustration and isolation of such a life. But Helen's story doesn't end there. In fact, it's where it truly begins. When she was 7 years old, a young teacher named Anne Sullivan entered her life. Sullivan, herself visually impaired, was determined to break down the barriers between Helen and the world. She taught Helen to communicate using sign language, to read Braille, and even to speak. This breakthrough was nothing short of miraculous. It was as if a door had been opened, and Helen eagerly stepped through it. She was no longer confined to her own silent, dark world. She was part of the larger world, a world filled with words and ideas and possibilities. But Helen didn't stop at merely learning to communicate. She wanted to share her experiences, her insights, and her ideas with others. She wanted to make a difference. And so, she wrote. She authored numerous books, giving the world a glimpse into her life and her thoughts. But Helen's achievements didn't stop there. She became a tireless advocate for people with disabilities, fighting for their rights and their dignity. She also championed women's rights and social justice, lending her voice to those who, like her, had once been voiceless. Helen Keller's story shows us that no obstacle is too big if we have the determination to overcome it. Helen Keller's life is an example of the indomitable human spirit, our ability to rise above our circumstances, persevere, and triumph. Her story is one of courage, of resilience, and above all, of hope. It reminds us that we too can overcome whatever obstacles life throws our way. It reminds us that we too can triumph over darkness. From overcoming disability to achieving athletic greatness, meet Wilma Rudolph. Born in the summer of 1940, Wilma Rudolph was the 20th child in a family of 22. Growing up in the segregated South, she faced not just the challenges of poverty and discrimination, but also a severe bout of polio that left her left leg paralyzed. Doctors said she would never walk again. But Rudolph, with the relentless spirit of a champion, refused to accept that prognosis. With the unwavering support of her family, she embarked on a grueling journey of physical therapy. Rudolph wore a leg brace and underwent intensive therapy until she was 9 years old. But her determination didn't stop there. By the age of 12, she had not only proven the doctors wrong by walking, but she was also running and playing basketball. Her exceptional speed on the court didn't go unnoticed. A track and field coach saw potential in Rudolph's swift strides and invited her to train for sprinting. Rudolph's sprinting prowess soon propelled her to new heights. In 1956, at just 16, she competed in her first Olympics, winning a bronze medal. But it was in the 1960 Olympics in Rome where she truly shone. Rudolph became the first American woman to win 3 gold medals in a single Olympic Games. She set world records in the 100-meter, 200-meter, and 4 times 100-meter events, earning her the title of the fastest woman alive. But Rudolph's impact extends beyond her athletic achievements. She used her fame to fight racial segregation and became an inspiration to countless individuals facing their own battles. In her own words, she said, "The triumph can't be had without the struggle." And indeed, Rudolph's life reflects the power of perseverance and the human spirit's unyielding capacity to overcome. Wilma Rudolph is a shining example of how determination can turn even the most dire into a story of victory. Remember to hit that subscribe button if you want to see more inspiring stories like this. Now we journey into the cosmos with the brilliant mind of Stephen Hawking. A child who was always curious, Stephen Hawking's fascination with the stars and the universe was ignited at an early age, but his journey was not one of smooth sailing. At the tender age of 21, he was diagnosed with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS, a cruel disease that slowly robs the body of its ability to walk, talk, and eventually breathe. The prognosis was grim. Doctors gave him just a few years to live. But Stephen Hawking was not one to bow down to adversity. He faced his condition head-on, refusing to let his physical limitations halt his intellectual pursuits. His body may have been confined to a wheelchair, but his mind soared beyond the confines of our planet, exploring the vast expanse of the universe. Hawking's resilience bore fruit. He delved into the mysteries of black holes, providing groundbreaking insights that have since shaped our understanding of these fascinating cosmic phenomena. His work on the theory of relativity and quantum mechanics challenged and expanded our knowledge of the universe. But his contributions were not confined to the realm of science. Hawking was also a phenomenal communicator, with the ability to convey complex scientific concepts in a manner that resonated with the public. His book, A Brief History of Time, became a bestseller, sparking a worldwide interest in cosmology. And in the face of his debilitating condition, Hawking became a pop culture icon, making appearances on popular TV shows, and even having a biographical movie made about his life. He showed the world that physical limitations do not define one's potential. In defiance of his prognosis, Stephen Hawking lived to the age of 76, his mind continuing to unravel the mysteries of the universe until his last breath. His life demonstrated the indomitable spirit of human will, a shining beacon of resilience and perseverance. Stephen Hawking's story is a story of the power of the mind and the unyielding spirit of humanity. From the universe we come back down to Earth, to a young woman named Malala Yousafzai. Born in 1997, in the Swat Valley of Pakistan, Malala was raised in a family that valued education. Her father, a school owner, instilled in her a love for learning. However, their lives were disrupted when the Taliban seized control of their valley and banned girls from attending school. Unwilling to be silenced, young Malala became an advocate for girls' education, voicing her opinions fearlessly in the face of oppression. Her fervor made her a target. In 2012, at just 15 years old, Malala was shot in the head by a Taliban gunman. The world held its breath as she fought for her life. After a long recovery, she emerged not weakened, but stronger, more determined than ever. Malala refused to let the attack silence her. Instead, it amplified her voice. She co-authored a memoir, I Am Malala, sharing her story with the world. She continued her advocacy, speaking at the United Nations on her 16th birthday, demanding global access to education. In 2014, her perseverance and courage were recognized globally when she became the youngest ever recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize. But Malala didn't stop there. She founded the Malala Fund, an organization dedicated to giving every girl the opportunity to achieve a future she chooses. Malala's story is one of extraordinary courage and unyielding determination. Her journey from a local schoolgirl to a global advocate for girls' education illustrated the power of resilience and the will to make a difference. She stood up against tyranny, faced death, and emerged victorious, proving that no one, not even a young girl, should be underestimated. Malala's story proves that even the youngest among us can change the world if they stand up for what they believe in. Our final story is that of Nick Vujicic, a man who turned his disability into a powerful message of hope. In 1982, a child was born in Melbourne, Australia. A child unlike any other, for he was born without arms and legs due to a rare disorder known as tetra amelia syndrome. This child was Nick Vujicic, a man whose name would soon become synonymous with resilience and hope. Growing up, Nick faced immense challenges. He was different, and he was bullied for it. The world seemed a harsh place, full of obstacles that seemed insurmountable for a boy without limbs. The bullying and isolation led him into a deep depression. He even contemplated ending his life, believing his existence was a burden. But Nick Vujicic did not give in to despair. Instead, he chose to confront his challenges head-on. He began to see his condition not as a disability, but as a unique ability to inspire others. He realized that he had a powerful message to share, that life, with all its challenges, is worth living. Nick transformed his life. He became a motivational speaker, spreading his message of hope and resilience to people all over the globe. He founded the Life Without Limbs organization, a platform from which he could reach out to those struggling with their own adversities, and tell them, yes you can. He authored several books, sharing his journey and his philosophy of life. His words resonated with people from all walks of life, reminding them of their inner strength and their capacity to overcome any obstacle. Nick Vujicic has traveled to over 60 countries, reaching out to millions with his message of hope and resilience. His life is an example of the power of the human spirit, the fact that we are not defined by our circumstances, but by our response to them. Nick Vujicic's story reminds us that we can overcome any challenge and live a life full of hope and positivity. These stories of perseverance are more than just inspiring anecdotes. They demonstrate the indomitable spirit of humanity, each one a beacon of hope illuminating the path to triumph over adversity. Helen Keller, who, despite being blind and deaf, shattered the barriers of her world. Wilma Rudolph, who sprinted past her physical limitations to become the fastest woman alive. Stephen Hawking, who unraveled the universe's mysteries while battling a debilitating disease. Malala Yousafzai, who, in her fight for girls' education, became a symbol of resistance against oppression. And Nick Vujicic, who crafted a life without limbs into a life without limits. Each of these individuals faced immense challenges, yet they never gave up. They persevered, and in doing so, they achieved their dreams. Remember, as long as you keep pushing forward, there's no obstacle you can't overcome. So, what's your story going to be? We hope you've been inspired by these remarkable stories of perseverance. If you want to hear more tales of triumph against adversity, subscribe to our channel. We bring you thought-provoking content that serves to motivate, challenge, and inspire. Don't forget to click the notification bell. This way you'll be the first to know when we release a new video. So join us as we explore the strength of the human spirit and the power of perseverance. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon for more inspiring stories. Until next time, remember, your story of perseverance is waiting to be written. See you in the next video.